Imagine this. You're across the table from a brilliant engineer, the one who could change your company's trajectory forever. She has an offer from a multinational for 1 crore rupees. You can't match it. So you slide a piece of paper across the table, an ESOP grant letter, a promise of ownership, a ticket to the unicorn dream. ESOPs. In the world of startups, they are the currency of ambition, the ultimate leverage. You dangle equity, and the best talent in the country will abandon comfortable 7-figure salaries for a shot at building the future with you. But here is the brutal truth most founders are strategically blind to. Your ESOP plan is not a benefit. It is not a perk. It is either a masterfully engineered strategic weapon or a devastating self-inflicted wound. The landscape is littered with the corpses of well-intentioned startups, companies whose generic, template-based ESOPs became their undoing. Think 50 lakh rupee lawsuits over a single vague vesting clause. Think last-minute investor walkouts because your cap table is a chaotic mess. Think a mass exodus of your most critical employees, the moment they discover their paper goldmine is worthless after a new funding round. This is not a legal failure. It's a failure of strategic imagination. The top 0.1% of operators in this country understand this. They don't just give ESOPs, they architect them. They build systems that are legally fortified, financially transparent, and ruthlessly aligned with performance. They do this because they intuitively understand a framework I call the ESOP Maturity Spectrum. And most founders are dangerously stuck at stage 1. Stage 1, the paper promise plan. This is the default setting. High risk, low value. It's where 90% of startups live and die. You downloaded a template, maybe had a junior lawyer fill in the blanks. Your entire focus was on simply having an ESOP plan to close a hire. The characteristics are dangerously common. Vague definitions of what happens when someone leaves. No clear communication on how the options are valued or what a liquidation preference is. Compliance is a problem for tomorrow. The hidden trap here is that this plan is a magnet for disputes. It actively invites conflict. Let me make this real for you. A high-growth fintech in Bengaluru poached a senior engineer from Google with a generous grant. The ESOP document was a classic paper promise plan. It failed to clearly define what happens to vested options if an employee resigns. When the engineer left after 18 months, a dispute erupted. The founders wanted to buy back the shares at a low price. The engineer felt cheated. The resulting lawsuit cost the company over 75 lakhs in legal fees and settlement. But that wasn't the real damage. The real damage was to their hiring brand. Overnight, they became known in the tech community as the startup that traps its employees with clever paperwork. Their ambition was crippled by their own amateur document. That is the price of a stage 1 plan. Part 1, the journey. This is the moment of truth, the point where you diverge from the 90%. You escape stage 1 by realizing your ESOP is a system, not a document. This brings us to stage 2, the compliance first plan. Here, you've matured. You've hired a decent law firm. Your plan is compliant with the Companies Act. It has clear tax guidelines, standard 4-year vesting with a 1-year cliff, and the proper board resolutions. You have successfully checked all the legal boxes. The hidden trap? This plan is legally safe, but strategically inert. It prevents lawsuits, but it does nothing to drive extraordinary performance. It's a defensive instrument, not an offensive weapon. Your equity feels like a long-dated abstract bonus, not a share in the mission. Your employees are passengers, not co-owners. So, the smart founders push forward. To stage 3, the strategic incentive plan. This is where you start playing offense. You move beyond simple time-based vesting and begin aligning equity with tangible business outcomes. Maybe you tie grants to hitting a revenue milestone of 5 crores or the successful launch of a new product line. You introduce structured, refresh grants to retain your absolute top performers. You manage your ESOP pool size strategically to impress investors in your next funding round. The pre-IPO Zomato model is a great example. They masterfully used strategic grants and buybacks to retain key leaders through hyper-growth. They aligned incentives with their mission, creating immense drive and value. But even here, there's a trap. While this plan drives performance, it often fails on communication. The team is motivated, but they might still be blind to the financial realities. The crucial, often uncomfortable conversation about liquidation preference hasn't happened. This creates a future time bomb of mismatched expectations during an exit. It's a huge leap forward, but it is not the final stage. Part 2. The destination. This brings us to the gold standard. Stage 4. The ownership culture plan. This is the domain of category-defining companies. This is where your ESOP plan transcends compensation and becomes the central pillar of your company's culture. This is where you build your talent moat. A Stage 4 plan has 4 distinct characteristics. First, legal fortification. Every clause is precise. Ambiguity is surgically removed. Dispute resolution via arbitration is built in. The entire plan is architected to withstand the most rigorous investor due diligence and prevent employee disputes before they can even begin. It's not a document, it's a fortress. Second, radical financial transparency. This is critical. The leadership team actively educates employees on the cap table. They explain the impact of dilution from new funding rounds. They hold sessions explaining exactly how liquidation preferences work, running what-if scenarios for different exit valuations. There are no secrets. Knowledge replaces fear and mistrust. Third, deep strategic alignment. The plan uses a sophisticated mix of time and performance-based vesting. The ESOP pool isn't just a number, it's a strategic asset managed with the same rigor as the company's treasury. It's deployed to retain linchpins, attract game changers, and drive mission-critical outcomes. And finally, fourth, engineered liquidity. This is the masterstroke. A Stage 4 company doesn't wait for an IPO. It proactively plans for secondary buybacks, allowing long-term employees to sell a portion of their vested shares and realize tangible wealth. This turns abstract equity on a piece of paper into a down payment for a house or the funding for a child's education. This creates a level of fierce, unwavering loyalty that no salary can ever buy. Your ESOP plan is a direct reflection of your strategic maturity as a founder. A Stage 1 paper promise plan signals to the world, to your investors, and to elite talent that you are an amateur. A Stage 4 ownership culture plan signals that you are a world-class operator, building a lasting institution that values its people as true partners. The journey from Stage 1 to Stage 4 is not about better legal drafting. It's about a fundamental mindset shift. You must stop viewing ESOPs as a necessary evil, a cost center, or a simple perk. You must start seeing them for what they are. The single most powerful tool you have to build a legally defensible, high-performance organization that attracts, retains, and inspires the best minds in your industry. The choice is simple: build a time bomb or build a moat. Now that you understand the 4 stages, the what and the why, the most important question is, where does your company stand right now? Simply knowing the theory isn't enough. To build a moat, you need a blueprint. That's why I've distilled this entire framework into a practical, actionable tool. It's called the ESOP Architect's Toolkit. This isn't just a guide, it's an interactive diagnostic that will help you pinpoint the exact vulnerabilities in your current ESOP plan and give you a personalized action plan to move to the next stage. It's the strategic clarity you need, delivered in minutes. Stop guessing. Start architecting. Click the first link in the description below to get your ESOP Architect's Toolkit right now.